If you go to trade the pool and you're looking for access to capital for day trading, how does that work and how do you have those kind of challenges and processes designed?
The idea actually came up when I was the head of the traders in a prop firm. So the thing is, you need to go through evaluation that's on a simulator account. You need to stick within those parameters. Once you reach the target, then you go to the funded phase. And then once you make money, we split the profit.
I think that also buries the lead a little bit, where if you're trading your own account, you can either grow your account or you can pay yourself, right? If I have a $100,000 account and I make 10%, well, my options are to take that $10,000 and do something with it. I leave it in the account and I kind of compound that over time. So that's another reason that I really like these prop firms.
You scale in, you build your position, you start small, just don't be in front of the screens all the time, because I see guys that trying to do swing, but then if you swing trading, do that the right way, keep your eyes off the screen basically.
If you have a strategy and you're successful as a day trader, and maybe you're just looking for capital to apply to a swing trade, maybe give it a shot and just take whatever you're doing right now, and instead of looking at the 1 minute chart, look at the daily chart or the weekly chart. And then at the same time, I totally agree with understanding your time frame. Okay, everyone, and welcome back to the Trade Ideas channel. We actually have a really cool interview for you today with a partner that we have over at Trade Ideas. We have Michael from Trade the Pool. What's interesting about this and what I'm excited about this is that Trade the Pool's has been working with Trade Ideas for a long time, and it's a great way if you're looking for capital, firm capital to trade while you're day trading. They've been the place to go. You actually get access to Trade Ideas when you're taking their challenge. There's a lot of cool relationships that we've had there already, but we're going to talk about a new product that they're looking to launch that's going to be for swing traders. And if anyone's followed me for any length of time, you know that that's my focus, that I'm not a good day trader, but I focus on swing trading because of that. And I think there's just going to be a cool conversation about the prop firm space, about how that helps traders. There are, we talked about, you're going to have seen the interview with Steve and Andy on the channel before this, who are Trade Ideas employees. They started in the prop firm world. I started in the prop firm world. I do really think it's a great place to get your start when it comes to trading. So without further ado, let's pop over to here. And Michael, how's it going?
I'm good. What's up?
Call this the Michael and Michael podcast. We've got the names going.
Nice. Eminem,
Yeah, perfect.
He's just launching a new album, right?
Yeah, there we go. We can get the SEO. We can get launched off of that. So, why don't you just take a second, just introducing yourself and introducing Trade the Pool for the part of the audience that may not know.
Right. So, Michael, I've been day trading actually 17 years now. A little bit less, for the last 2 years, just because of what I'm doing in Trade the Pool as the CEO. Running this whole show, it takes a lot from you, so yeah. I'm a little bit off the screens right now, but I'm still always just watching the market, trying to trade a little bit more ETFs or big names, just to keep my eyes on the market. But besides that, I started just like anyone else back then. No prop firm or anything like that, just with my own capital, then raise a little bit more from my parents. Tried and, just tried to do my best. Didn't know what I'm doing, actually. Obviously, back then, I didn't have anyone to talk to as well. So it was kind of rough start. Not like today. But fast forward 17 years, we are doing this as the prop firm industry and basically the prop firm solution, let's call it that way, that we bring in my eyes, is literally a no-brainer. Because the thing about trading someone else's capital, and I've done it before, it takes out a lot of the stress when you're trading on your own capital, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about how Trade the Pool works and everything as well. But one of the things that I've been doing a little bit on the side around what I'm doing here in Trade as well is the parent company of Trade the Pool, the Fivers. So I have now 2 prop accounts with that, and I've noticed that very same thing where Right now, I'm stinking up a bit. I'm in a little bit of a drawdown, but because it's, it is other people's capitals and I'm not down on my own capital, I look at it as, okay, I just have to size down and, dig my way out before I can start getting payouts again. But I don't look at it as I'm down money. And I think that attachment
Mhm.
is really, really good, right? The, amount of money I'm down, if I had been down that in my regular account, that might keep me up at night and everything. But instead, it's not that I'm flippant with other people's money. It's just that it's not weighing on me as the absolute amount that I can lose is capped at what the amount that I've paid to take the challenges, right? It's just now
Exactly.
it's okay. I know I won't get paid for a while until I get out of these drawdowns and then start to take that money. So again, for just people who don't know, if you go to trade the pool and you're looking for access to capital for day trading, how does that work and how do you have those kind of challenges and processes designed?
Right. So the idea actually came up when I was the head of the traders in a local shop here,
Hmm.
um, in a prop firm. And basically, once Gil, the founder, gave me a call and we talked, we decided to go through with that and help basically day traders and swing traders, but stocks, focusing on stocks, to become better traders and obviously profitable. So the thing is, you need to go through evaluation that's on a simulator account. So you
Hmm.
have risk rules, and those parameters, you need to stick within those parameters. Once you reach the target, then you go to the funded phase, and then once you make money, we split the profit. It's super simple, like very straightforward. Obviously, coming from a retail broker, like personal account, to a prop firm, there will be some changes that anyone will have to just adjust to, like risk rules, right? Like daily loss, for example. So
Hmm.
if you trade in and we give you like $2,000, for example, of daily loss. Once you lost that, then we stop you for that day and you need to come back the next day. Something that obviously on a broker account, no one can stop you. And it's easily to blow your account.
As much as, and I know this from when I traded on a physical prop desk, and it was a little bit more ominous then because you'd see the risk manager get up and walk out of his office and he'd start walking towards, and you're
Exactly.
like, uh-oh, is it me? And as much as, doing something like that, people may hear that and say, oh, well, that's a drawback that I can't just continue to trade forever.
Right.
But I implore you, as much as you're mad about it at the time,
Hmm.
it is for your own good and it will save you more often than not. I actually recommend people call their broker, because some brokers will actually put that in if you call
Hmm.
and ask, and it just saves you from kind of that going on tilt and doing something incredibly dumb that you can't recover from. So uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's
I-
great. So, and it makes sense. You're trading other people's money, right? So, you guys also have to protect that going on tilt and all of that as well.
Yeah, and you also see that we're looking at our stats. The traders that make money, they actually the guys that stick within those rules and understand that it's good for them.
Hmm.
And it's kind of hard. You said you can call your broker and put that limit, but in most cases we won't do that because we don't want to limit ourselves, right? But
Yeah.
if someone else from the other side come to you and say, you know what, this is it, this is what you can do, then the risks start to be much more clearer, and the approach to trading is the right one.
Well, and it's funny because we know that obviously that's a good thing to do on a per trade basis. We put out a stop loss, and then whatever we're trying to make out of the trade is supposed to be more than that stop loss. But
Hmm.
people won't do it, per day, where they're like, "Hey, I'm trying to make X, so I shouldn't really be able to lose, more than a half of that, or whatever the number is." So
Hmm.
yeah, we do it on a per trade basis, but generally not a per day basis. So just to kind of summarize to make sure that the audience knows. So Trade the Pool's a company you can go to. You can take a trial, and you pay to take that trial. You paper trade within the rules that are given, and if you succeed in those rules, then you're kind of welcomed into the fold and you're given a real account,
Yeah.
and then any profits that are made are split. And I think that's amazing, because the other side means that any losses that are made are then not your issue. And that's what we were talking about before with, again, the drawdown that I'm in. Again, not to encourage anyone to be flippant or dismissive with other people's money, but that kind of detachment is really good. And not only the detachment, I also think the access to capital, even if you have your own account right now, and say you have a $25,000 account, which is the minimum you need in the US to day trade properly, you're not going to be able to make a living off that unless you're exceptional and you're, making multiple 100% a year.
Yeah.
Now, what are the kind of sizes of accounts they can have access to on the trade the pool size?
Right. So you touched the exact point, Michael. With us, because you're trading our pool, this is why we call it trade a pool. You're trading our pool, so the PDT rule won't apply here. So you can day trade anytime you want. We have 4 tiers currently. The one that the lowest one is mini buying power. It's basically $20,000, and you can still day trade with that. Then you go to 80,000, 160, and 260 intraday. And of course, maybe we forgot to mention that you pay for the evaluation, one-time fee. And even if you take like 10 tests, like $97 with the 20K, even if you pay like 10 times, it's still much worth it than taking $1,000, put it in your broker account, because obviously you won't be able to execute the day trading anyway. So in that case, this is why I love the program so much and what we do, because I really believe that if a trader will start, even if he's a beginner trader, will start trading with a prop, he will learn so much more and will won't risk his own capital, that the chances for him to become profitable are much higher. Much higher.
Yeah, and because I'm an open book and I don't hide anything, when with the fivers, which again is a 4x version of the same thing, I blew up many accounts before I got everything correct. But I was okay with it because the amount of money I was paying for the accounts was, again, relatively small. And then after one payout of being successful, it was dwarfed anything that occurred there. So it is a great way to do it, and it's a great way to learn with, again, not risking a lot of your own capital in if you're taking that mini buying power, you're putting up a fairly small amount of money, and then the hope is that you pass and you get a good account. But if not, you're not like you're putting up your own $25,000 in order to day trade, and the mistakes that could happen from that could be much worse. So say somebody buys one of the smaller accounts, do you guys have the option to scale up to push that account higher as kind of success, I guess, is proven?
Yeah, exactly. So basically we have this growth plan. Once you start showing consistency and you reach a target each time of 10% of your buying power. So for example, if you trade in 20,000, you made $2,000 in profit. Now we increase your buying power and your maximum daily loss. So every time you reach 10%, we increase that over and over again. It changes obviously between the tiers, but the concept is unlimited buying power. The idea is to see guys that doing it well, consistently, show consistency, and we will back them over and over again. We've seen it with the guys that been with us for a year and a half, even almost 2 years. Pulling 20K, 10K, 30,000 every month, and that's incredible to see. It's someone that I know for sure, and guys that told me that on their broker account they didn't make it or made very little money, but with us they're making like a very nice salary for a month.
Yeah. And I think that also buries the lead a little bit, where if you're trading your own account, you have you can do only one of two things at a time. You can either grow your account or you can pay yourself, right? If I have a $100,000 account and I make 10%, I make $10,000. Well, my options are to take that $10,000 and do something with it. in which case my account goes back to $100,000, or I leave it in the account and I kind of compound that over time. So that's another reason that I really like these prop firms, because a lot of what I do with my own trading and swing trading, which we're going to get to, which is something cool that you guys are doing soon, is that as I swing trade, I just leave everything in, it's called an RSP account here. It's I think an IRA in the States, all the same. It's a tax deferred account. So even though I'm trading and the account is growing and I'm happy with all that, I don't get to see any of that, right? Because it's all just happening until I'm older and even more gray than I am now. And then I reap the benefits of that. So the exciting bit I find of these prop firms is, again, you get a little bit of both, where, if you're proving yourself, you're growing the account, but then at the same time, you're able to reap some of that reward, where, it creates an interesting dilemma when you're trading your own money, where you're like, okay, I've made a good pile of money here, but if I take that money, then it reduces my buying power. So I think the ability to do both of those is really cool. So let's talk a little bit about what you're coming out with, or by the time I guess the people are seeing this, you've already launched, which is more of a focus on swing trading. Let's talk about why you've made that push, and what benefits you think you can have to traders in that kind of swing horizon.
Yeah, so for a long time, guys are telling us, we need a dedicated swing. You're also one of those guys.
It was me.
So, yeah, exactly. Because we understand that right now you can basically swing trade as well. You can stay overnight open, but with obviously lower buying power.
Yeah.
And the limitation of the current program, like for day traders, is that there is 45 days to pass the evaluation. And from obviously for other guys, for swing trading, it's a little bit less than what you expect to see. So we have decided to split those two and keep one for day traders that can still be able to hold a little bit overnight, and to open a direct swing trading program. So we give you a little bit more capital, more buying power throughout the day. You can hold it for as long as you want within the risk parameters and expiration of the program, which is 100 days. So instead of 45, you actually have more than double, and that should be more than enough to pass the evaluation. We increase a little bit the target, of course, because you're getting more buying power, just to fit the risk. But the idea should be great for all swing traders.
Yeah, and I am one that I'm excited about this, and I'll be taking it the day that it's launched. Maybe I'll do something fun on the channel where I'll publicly talk about after the fact, so you guys can't follow my trades, but I'll talk about what I did there, because I and again, I'm an open book, so full disclosure, I took the day trading challenge a couple times and failed miserably every time, and I think part of it is and I talk about this a lot, I think there are personality types when it comes to day trading and when it comes to swing trading. I'm one that I'm a very analytical type person. I like, doing all of my work in trading when the market is closed, and I can go through, I go through a couple hundred charts a night, and I pinpoint some opportunities and I set some orders, and then I can walk away. Where I don't do well with trading is that in the moment kind of emotional type decision making. So if you're someone who does that, or the other thing is, I think if you're someone like me who does a lot of other things, the market is open right now, and me and Michael are having this cool chat, I couldn't focus to the extent that I think you have to if you're day trading. So if you're someone who has, a job somewhere else, and you're looking for a little bit of bonus income, you're trying to figure out a way to learn how to trade and maybe eventually day trade, I think this is definitely the move where, you're able to spend a little bit less time focusing on the actual market, and you're able to kind of set orders and let trades go. So how are you guys protecting your capital when it comes to swing trading and overnight sessions? Are there rules that help the trader and help you guys protect that capital?
Yeah, so there are, of course, a few risk rules, and we have the guys here in the back that always watching the trades. First of all, you cannot hold your position if it's on earnings time. So,
Makes sense.
Obviously, besides that, the buying power will be lower than the day trading, like the regular trading hours of the day trading. So it will be enough to trade with, but not as if you're doing day trading. So we will work with that as well, and some risk restrictions, or as we call it, consistency rules. For example, holding your position X amount of time, and a little bit of behind the scene kind of management. The crazy thing is, when you swing trading, especially with this amazing market, you can click the mouse key and make money, right? I'm just looking on the side on Nvidia, what's going on there.
Yeah, it's insane. Where the thing that I really like about swing trading is it gives me more time to allow a profit to work, right? There's nothing that gets me more than you enter a good day trade, you put out your protective stop loss, and then the stock does nothing, or even you close it for a loss at the end of the day, and then a day or two goes by, and then the trade starts to work. So I like that it removes that time constraint to the trade. You can take the trade, and then you can make sure you're protecting your risk as always, but it gives you that time to allow those good risk reward opportunities to play out, where sometimes with day trading you're right about the direction, you're just wrong about when that stock's going to actually make the move. So again, I'm really excited for this. I will be taking it, and I'll be sharing it on the Trade Ideas account, my own accounts as well. But you mentioned, right, you've been at this for 17 years, mostly day trading. So let's start with day trading, and then I want to ask you kind of the same question for swing trading. Is what is the advice that you would give if somebody has seen this and now they're like, okay, I'm going to go to trade the pool, I'm going to take a challenge, and let's start with the day trading side. Just what are some tips that you have seen? Because I'm sure not only for your trading, you get to see now hundreds of other traders and their performance. So I'm sure that was kind of eye-opening as well, to see what some people are doing right, what some people are doing wrong. What are some tips that you would give the people out there to get started?
Yeah, definitely. So, when I was head of the traders here in a local shop, a prop firm, I started to realize there are so much things as a retail trader that I didn't know about, and seeing the stats of the other traders made me realize that. And now, obviously, with Trade a Pool, when I'm seeing thousands of trades every single day, thousands of traders every single day, then we actually analyze, obviously, all the data and try to understand the traders more for the risk part. And if I can give a few advices for someone that is just starting the challenge, is first of all, don't go big and try to swing for the fence, right? Try to do it one by one, chunk by chunk. And then one more important thing is to scale into the position. I see traders that just started the challenge and not listening to that advice, and actually going all in, obviously blow the account pretty quick, then coming back and trying to do it slower. So just start to scale into the position. If you're risking, let's say, if you want to risk $100 per trade, don't risk it with one chunk, with one click. Start with $20 risk, $50 risk, 80, then go to the 100. Once you see that it goes to your favor, right? So this is something that is super important. It worked amazing for my trading, the part of the scaling in, and obviously scaling out of the trade. So if you start doing that more, instead of just looking for click the mouse key and be right from the get-go, then you will definitely see an increase with your success rate.
Yeah, it's funny. I do the same thing with swing trading, where I will initially take a position because I think this is an area of support or resistance that will hold, and I take that knowing that I'm planning on adding to it. For me, usually sometimes twice, and it may be
Mm.
I take the trade, and then it shows me that yes, this support does look like it's going to hold, and I'll add another little bit, and then if we have a nice push off it, then I'm really in, because when I'm wrong, I want to be wrong very small, and then when I'm right, I want to be right in incredibly big, because that again will give you that kind of risk reward. So when you're seeing these people day trade and day trade successfully, what names are they focused on? Or most of them just focus on the big names that everyone knows and loves, like you mentioned Nvidia and Microsoft and all this, or are they kind of gravitating to whatever's in play or on the move at the time?
Yeah, so we have a lot of young guys in our system, So obviously, penny stocks is the one for many of our traders. You can short penny stocks on our platform. So a lot of the guys are going and looking for the one that doing that big move for today.
Mm-hmm.
We do have funded traders that focus in on the big names like Tesla, Amazon, all of those. But a lot of the young guys will look for that pump and dump, try to short it at the top, or maybe going in pre-market, trying to catch the big move to the upside. Those kind of elements. So stocks in play mostly.
Yeah, and it's funny. I do a lot of these interviews with traders, and I notice that is a more and more common trading style. I think, and I think there's a bit of a graduation from there. People start trying to say, "Oh, I'm going to find the stock and I'm going to buy it that's going to triple that day," and that's what they start looking for. And then they realize more often than not, especially with these crazy, fly-by-night companies, some news comes out, they pop a bit, and then they just kind of completely fall apart. So then
Yeah.
I think after getting hit enough time, they say, well, maybe I should try to figure out how to play the other side, and not be the person that FOMOs into the move, but try to, catch it on the way down. So that's interesting. And, we've done some trading competitions over at Trade Ideas as well. One we did, or a handful we did, people were only allowed to short. And it's like everybody seemed to gravitate to that method. So I often wonder if, then trades are going to get too loaded on one side, and then we're going to see a shift back to, these short squeezes are going to happen more and more because people are getting more and more comfortable shorting. I always just find that interesting from kind of the psychological point of view that, maybe there's a gravitation back to that.
That's a good point.
Now, again, from the swing trading side of things, because we're going to launch this at the same time you guys launch your swing trading, do you have any advice there? I know you mainly focus on day trading, but do you have any tips for people who might want to go that route instead of the day trading route?
Yeah, so the last 2 years, because of the job and everything that I do here, I gravitated a little bit more to the swing part, mostly on the Nasdaq. If I trade swing is on futures, so I also do that on my Defivers account, and basically I see that the same concept applies here as well, right? So you scale in, you build your position, you start small. Just don't be in front of the screens all the time, because I see guys that trying to do swing, but then when you go to your iPhone and the app or whatever it is, and then you see it goes against you, then you start to do some crazy things. So if you swing trading, do that the right way. Keep your eyes off the screen, basically.
Yeah, well, those are the two things I was going to hit exactly as well. The first one is that, we say trading is fractal, which means that what happens on a weekly time frame should happen on a daily time frame, should roughly happen on a 10-minute time frame, and so on and so forth. So if you have a strategy and you're successful as a day trader, and maybe you're just looking for capital to apply to a swing trade, maybe give it a shot and just take whatever you're doing right now, and instead of looking at the 1 minute chart, look at the daily chart or the weekly chart. And then at the same time, I totally agree with understanding your time frame. I see this all the time with traders where they say, oh, I'm going to trade a weekly breakout. So my goal is to, try to get an NVIDIA, that $500 breakout I got on NVIDIA. And that was an epic breakout. And it's like 1,200, 1,300 right now. And I was talking to another trader friend of mine who got the same breakout. And my plan was, this is a weekly breakout on, something that's a big in name. I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to check on it once a week, because that's when the candle closes, and see what I'm going to do there. And this guy immediately zoomed into like 2-minute charts and was out of the trade, later that day or the next day. So yeah, if you're going to be swinging and you're going to be holding for multiple days, then you got to pick a time frame. It doesn't necessarily have to be a daily chart, it could be a 15 or a 30-minute or whatever. But yeah, know your time frame and stick to that, because what will happen, I think, a lot of the time is you'll end up taking profits on the smaller time frames, and you'll be taking losses on the larger time frames, and that kind of gets skewed. So
yeah, 100%.
well, I think that was great, Michael. And I think that was a fantastic conversation. Again, I'm really excited for this. Trade the Pool has been a great partner to Trade Ideas, and we hope to keep this going and expand it out into different things in the future. I'm really excited to maybe actually get funded this time as opposed to the failures I had last time. I think that'll be great. Now, other than just going to tradethepool.com, is there anywhere else you want the people to hang out and reach out to you?
Yeah, well, we are everywhere. So Twitter, YouTube channel as well. Anywhere you go, we have our Discord community, of course,
Yep.
And growing rapidly because it makes sense.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by. Again,
Thanks so
everyone,
much.
go check out Trade the Pool, and I'll talk to you later.
Good luck, guys.